live on YouTube now. All right. How's everybody doing? Welcome to Gross Domesticated Podcast Live. I'm Pat George. I'm your host. Sometimes my wife is here. My wife, Dominique, but she is not available today. It's Thanksgiving Eve. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope everyone is safe wherever you may be. I am just wanting to share something real quick. You know how I get confused at the beginning here, and how I get very confused. But if you are watching and you are on the YouTube page, please like the video here, and also subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the little bell there so you get all the notifications and all that jazz. You will be notified anytime I go live, which is every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, as you can see here. I feel like if you would like to join in, I would love it because I've made those available through Instagram Live at Baby Mermaid Productions on Instagram. If you follow that page, I go live also, and you can pound off in the comments there. What's up, Avery? How's it going, buddy? You can pound off in the comments there, or live on YouTube as well. I can read your comments here as well. And if you're on the Baby Mermaid Productions YouTube page, check out some of the other shows that are on the page, the playlist. There, we got some playlists there. We got past episodes of Gross Domesticated Podcast. We got episodes of Proper Ebonics. There should be a new episode coming out soon, I believe, within the week, I hope. And also the latest episode of Falls Count Anywhere is available right there. Check out some of my buddies' podcasts as well. A Boy in His Fridge. That's Manny and Mike O'Donnell's podcast. Manny is from Falls Count Anywhere. Check those guys out. The DNR podcast with Damian Robinson and Ron Kane, and the Almost on Time podcast is another one you should check out. Those are some local comics that I know that have some shows that you should check out. You know, why not? They're not video, I don't believe. Most of those actually are. None of those are video, but they're all audio form. So if you're hanging around, if you're driving this holiday weekend, you want to check out some new podcasts, there you go. There's some new content for you. What's up, guys? How's it going? Got some people hanging out. Oh, my God. Avery, how you doing this Thanksgiving Eve? Everybody's excited. Nobody's excited. I don't think anybody's really excited for the holidays yet. But I feel like there's oh, yeah. Hold on. I just wanted one more thing. Hold on. No, rise or die. Oh, yeah. Sorry. What about with Andy and Pat? That's the thing. Because I've been doing my own little music countdown on the show on GDP Live so far since we've started, and it's really kind of coming to its own thing. But I wanted to. What's up, buddy? How's it going, Josh? How's it, buddy? Wait. Hold on. I didn't see. Why didn't I get a notification when you joined? All right. Either way. What's up, Josh? Josh DeWay's pounding off in the Instagram comments. Actually, it's funny. I wanted to talk about. What's up, John? I wanted to talk about. Dave Chappelle's. Speaking of giving, Thanksgiving, huh? That's a segue there, guys. Take notes. I watched Dave Chappelle's Unforgiven this morning, and I wasn't made aware. Like I saw him hosting Saturday Night Live. I saw the monologue and him mentioning the Netflix thing, but hearing the whole kind of his side of the story thing was Patty segue. Fuck yeah, John. I wanted to say, like, personally, like it's not that I don't I didn't get, like, one of those things of, like, I don't know, I always kind of did have that that same feeling of, like, like, oh, it's a contract, blah blah blah, and all this shit, but, like, I don't know, I really appreciate the fact that of somebody of Dave Chappelle's status and skill, like straight up saying, fuck that. Like, and to me I empathize so much with the times that he was grifted and the times that he was tricked and fooled and stuff like that. It was a really great thing, but I feel like it's so weird, like, that it feels like he's just such a great storyteller. It doesn't even feel like you're watching stand-up anymore. He's just it's educate, like, he's tricking me into learning stuff, and I like it. Do you know what I mean? Because that's how I learn the best, is when you're like, hey, Pat, a lot of time, you can like when they started in school, when they did the thing where they said like blah 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 has this many has this many apples and this many apples and you eat this many. I was like, oh shit, I get it, because it's like apples. Like if you take two apples away, so two just means two apples. If you just equate that, I had to do that. You know, when you say like solve for X or solve for Y, I had to solve for apple. I had to solve for the numbers they were asking. You know what I mean? Like I like the, so it's nice when they can relate that shit to you. I remember, it was no, it, so like, it was nothing. It's obviously it's not that at the scale. Like I haven't been afforded the opportunities of like people, anybody wanting to pay me for any of my comedy, really, like to have a sketch show or anything like that. So it's not like, obviously I'm not saying that there's any kind of relation or anything like that, but there's like the story he tells about the card guy, the three card Monty guy in the park, like that that resonated so much to me. It reminded me of a story of when it was, I believe, so this is pretty recently too. So like maybe I'm around the same age he is in the story. I don't remember exactly if he gave an age exactly, but he was definitely in the financial situation I am. But I remember it was when we like not long after we first moved to PA. We went to visit Florida, and one of my favorite things to do visiting anywhere, even if it's a place that I used to live, especially if it's a place I used to live, is go to the flea markets. I love visiting local flea markets. I want to go there because I feel like the two places you're going to get a real feel of the place, of the people in the area, is like the malls in the area, the flea markets in the area, and the thrift stores in the area. Do you know what I mean? Like you're gonna get somewhat like, because you're kind of getting an influx of like everybody is pretty much welcome at these places. And like I've learned places, like I've even learned things about going to the flea markets in different towns. When I went to Atlanta, I found out there's black flea markets, there's like Mexican flea markets, there's like they had like segregated flea markets. It was so fucking weird. And I don't think it was because you're not allowed here. I think it was like there's just so many. Like it was so cool to see that difference of, because in Florida it was just basically white people flea markets. Like that's the only thing I ever went to. So I love seeing, I just Google flea market, whatever town I'm in, flea market. If they don't have a flea market, you go to the mall. If they don't have, stuff like that, thrift stores, because you also see all the things that people don't want in the area. Like what was not fit for you in this area. Like that's the thing. So even when I go to visit home, I like to go to the flea markets that I remember growing up and stuff like that. And I remember we went to fuck yeah, hell yeah, Josh, thanks buddy. Hopefully a lot of dollars. To give my take on what flea markets are like in different towns. I'd love to have that show. I'd go to each town. I don't even know would you put that on A&E? What's the one, American Pickers. Whatever channel American Pickers is on, I feel like I could go to that flea market and be like, oh yeah, actually that's a good show. I'm going to write that down. I'm going to pitch that. Because honestly, who is my competition? Who else is going to flea markets? You know what I mean? I'm putting my trademark on that. Baby Mermaid's Productions. Pat on flea markets. John, come up with a punny name for that. A very punny name, huh? Speaking of plugs, I just wanted to segue real quick from this flea market story and say that Friday, don't forget, John, I don't want you backing out like a pussy. Friday, Black Friday, spelling bee, John versus Pat. I'm building my word bank right now, buddy. You're in big trouble. You don't even know the words you're getting. And they're not going to be the astronomical, maybe astronomical might be one. You know what I mean? Just me thinking of words, ways, like descriptors of the words that I'm going to pick for you. That's just how I'm coming up with my list. I want it to be very difficult for you. So I'm going to use the word difficult. You know what I mean? Don't you go cheating either. Maybe these are actually the words that are on the list. Maybe not. Who knows? But Friday, GDP Live, Black Friday, this Friday, African American Friday. Sorry, Josh. African American African American Friday, Spelling Bee, John Montag against Pat George. Booyah, it's on. And honestly, if somebody else wants to jump in too, I feel like we could probably have a three-way one. You know what I mean? If somebody else wants to throw us some words, make up a word for either me and or John, and then we'll go. Okay? Fleeing the scene with Pat. God damn it. John, will you be on my show? I know I do hacks. I know, like, it's funny too, because check out Hacks, by the way. Hacks Comedy Golf on Instagram. John Montag's the host of Hacks. We're gearing up for season 2. It's coming up. John Montag. I bullied my way onto the first. Basically, the first episode was just basically John teaching me how to golf in a way, but it's still very funny. Check it out on the playlist. Baby Mermaids Productions. Where you are right now, if you're watching on YouTube. And John, I feel like I want you to be on the first episode of Fleeing the Scene, because now you've named it. Fleeing the Scene. Fleeing. I'm just gonna take a screenshot. How about that? There we go. I'm tired of writing shit down. I'm wasting so much paper. We've been playing so much chess and so much crazy eights and so much rummy and so many. Well, I guess chess you don't really keep score, but we've been keeping score so much that she just uses a whole piece of paper for like 1 or 2 games, and like not even the back of it and stuff like that. So I just got a ton of scrap paper everywhere. But when we're visiting a flea market, when we're not fleeing the scene, where we are fleeing the scene, but it's the EAC. Ah, man, John, I love you. You're so smart. Get on the Instagram Live chat. Okay, guys? If you're watching on Instagram Live instead of YouTube, then you can pound off in the comments like that. You can join in. If anybody wants to join in, you know you're welcome. I just wanted to throw that out there. If anybody wants the Zoom link, I didn't create one, but I could probably throw one together. You know I can't really multitask, but if you want to join in audio only, you can on Instagram Live. Just ask to join. I'll accept you. Your audio will be on the YouTube video, which I saved, but the Instagram video will be deleted at the end of it. So make sure you get in there, read the comments, because I can't necessarily read, period, but I can't read them all. So if you want to find out what they're saying in the comments, check it out, Instagram Live, at Baby Mermaid Productions on Instagram, just like we are here on YouTube. So even when we visit Florida flea markets, when we go back home, I like to, or like even when we go to visit there, I like to go to the flea markets. So the first time we were visiting after we moved to PA, we go to the Wagon Wheel Flea Market. Shout out to the Wagon Wheel Flea Market. Basically Largo, Florida. I think it's Largo. Like it's right on the edge of Largo, St. Pete, almost Seminole area. So we go to the flea market, and at this time, I believe even CBD is still illegal. So like it's not a lot of places have. It's definitely not like now where like everything's legal in Oregon, and most other places, if you get caught with weed, they're just gonna be like, "What are you doing? Here's a ticket," or something like that. Like it's even CBD is still illegal. So when we get to the Wagon Wheel, we're shopping around. I see, and I like the CBD because, especially when we went on vacation, I don't travel a lot with, stuff. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Who knows, right? You know what I'm talking about. Fun stuff. Cool stuff. And so CBD does help. And a lot of times it does kind of help to sleep. And just overall, like you spend a lot of time in the car. You want to spend a lot of time with family. Sometimes you just need to relax a little bit, right? So this guy was selling vapable CBD. And I was like, shit, I got my little vape pen. If I need to keep calm, we're hanging out with grandparents, parents, stuff like that, stressful. And the whole time, Dom just keeps saying something to me about, like, she's like, I don't know about this. And I'm just like, shut the fuck up. Be cool. We're talking. Even though he's got a huge banner that says CBD. Every red flag is this guy's about to take me for all my money and just sell me bullshit, like fish oil or some shit. Like, I don't even know what the fuck he's selling, but it can't be CBD because it's illegal. Like, you can't just advertise, I'm selling illegal things. Even at a flea market, there's still rules. And I should have known that. So as far as, and like me spending money on vacation, it doesn't matter how much money we've budgeted for the vacation. If we've budgeted money for the vacation, any other expenditure usually will fuck us. So if I'm not planning on buying CBD from somebody, especially CBD that doesn't work, that's not actually CBD, and you can't test it, and who am I gonna tell? You know what I mean? It's like calling the police because you got sold bad crack. It doesn't work that way. I've tried. So I definitely understand, like, that to my memory, that was the last time I really got really swindled. You know, kind of in a way, like, to where somebody got me, like, where normally my guard is up. I can kind of smell bullshit, and I'm just like, yeah, you know what? I'm not. I usually I can trust my gut in those situations. So stories like that he shares, where, like, and relating that to contract negotiations and stuff like that is such an interesting, like, and that's truly how I think. I think the same way, of like that, of kind of having what, like you can only go by your experiences. So if you say, like, oh, like, dealing with these people is like dealing with a bunch of people on the street that are, you know, swindling you with cards, is not just, it's like, it's such a personal, it's such a cool personal, like, perspective, that I appreciate the fact that Dave Chappelle is somebody who is responsible with their platform. He's somebody who has earned it through, and like, that's the thing, is like saying, like, oh, Dave Chappelle, everybody would think now, like, oh, Dave Chappelle, of course Dave Chappelle can just say, oh, you have the luxury to say that now. Like, he's kind of always been saying this same thing. He's been pretty consistent since the actual Chappelle, like, when he did quit the Chappelle show and leave, like, and got away and shit like that. Like, that to me, like, was the first time he said that. And since then, like, still existing, and not only existing, but still, like, putting out poignant, thoughtful content, and things that are relatable, are so personal, but also so relatable. So to put that, and somebody who, like, I don't know. I feel like that's why, like, because there's a lot of times that are, it's weird watching like, the things that, excuse me, I'm gonna sneeze. Oh man, excuse me. I'm allergic to truth. No, I think making a situation that is so out of touch for so many people. Like, I don't know anything about entertainment discussions, or like professional management. I've had management, but it was never professional management. Do you know what I mean? So, like, even having, I don't, like, the people that have managed me, I don't necessarily believe they're on their side either. Like, I haven't had that level of success, and I don't, and that's not the point. The point is the fact that I don't know what it's like to be in contract negotiation. That's what I'm saying. Is like, so when you do relate it in the way of the grifter, of somebody cheating you, like, I've thought, I mean, I think that same thing when like, you say a card game, like, that's just his personal experience, but we've all walked into, I'm sure, a casino, and there's a thing where I made a joke about it, I think, on the last show, where I've lost like $100 at blackjack, or no, $50, I believe. It was just like bam, bam, like two hands. I think that was like a $25 minimum, and in less than like 30 seconds, actually, really, because it's just one of those things that, and really, the reason, like, you can get mad at them, like, he's like, again, in his story, watch Unforgiven, again, Dave Chappelle's Unforgiven, great, because it makes sense, and he's, as somebody who is, he tells the story of of being grifted, essentially, and then being mad at them, but kind of ultimately learning a lesson in that same time, being granted learning that lesson, not getting his ass beat, kind of thing. Like, I was able to, well, ultimately, yes, the only thing that's injured really is your wallet and or your pride, but you ultimately, you leave with a lesson, and that's something that I learned through, that I try to adapt, again, into all aspects of my life, of like, of in a way the jujitsu term. The perfect way I've heard it was, honestly, it's the weirdest thing. A jujitsu shirt that I saw advertised, and it said, "You win or you learn." So, yeah, that's kind of the same thing. Sometimes you can win at the card game. Sometimes you just learn. You learn. Oh yeah, and you also learn. Sometimes you learn. Don't play. For some people, the lesson is, oh, don't play. Don't don't get grifted, or don't play cards in the park. Don't go gamble in the park or whatever, which makes sense. But it's also like, but also it's, like, it's up to you. You can do it. You can play. You can play. You have the option. You can go do that, but you don't have to. You don't. It's not their fault. If you lose, it's not their fault necessarily. You know what it is walking into it. So that's all you have to worry about. Like, you just continue on, and like I said, but I don't want anybody to get mistaken. Like, I don't think Dave Chappelle is at the level of celebrity where he can say, "Fuck it, don't stream my shit." I think he was. That's what he said when he left. Was, "Fuck you, I'm out." Do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter if you have me, like, on paper or something like that. You can't, like, it was symbolic. And there was a thing of saying, like, it wasn't just like, oh, now he's at this level of celebrity, he can do that. Like, he's responsible. Like I said, he's responsible with his platform in the sense that he's not telling everybody. He's reasonable. He's not telling everybody, cancel your HBO membership or stop watching HBO. He's saying, just don't watch my show. It would be unreasonable to say you are not allowed to entertain yourself with the streaming services or whatever. But I do like that he's just, and like I said, he's not talking shit. Like, this is his personal experience. So if HBO treated him the way they did, and Netflix is treating him the way they are, then yeah. Like, he's saying, it's, to me, that's my favorite thing. That was my favorite way to vote before. I mean, it's still my favorite way to vote. I understand, voting for officials and senators and Congress people is very important. But, like, to me, voting with your dollar or voting with your time is so that's why, like, I want it to be so fucking clear that when I say thank you for hanging out in the Instagram live and commenting along or watching on YouTube or liking and or subscribing, all of those things, that's not lost on me. I truly appreciate you spending your time with me. That's the point. Because all I'm truly trying to do is use whatever platform I may have or what skills I have to elevate my buddies if I can. I want to yes, it does benefit me. I'm just looking to make a living. But in the same way, in a win-win scenario, I feel like this is exact. I want to put out quality content that people truly appreciate. So when people do appreciate it and or spend time watching it, liking it, subscribing, whatever the fuck it may, telling your friends about it, I truly appreciate it because your time is important. Everyone's time is important, whether you like it or not. It's like every person breathes air, bleeds blood. Like, that's like it's all the same shit. Ultimately, we all have the same goals in life. So, like, to be competitive in every aspect of it is so alien to me. So, like, when you can just be honest and you can just say, like, truly, this is something that I like that you should like, or this is something that, and all Dave Chappelle is saying, like, hey, if you truly like me or support me, this is the deal, and if you don't mind, please go ahead and just do this, and I respect the fuck out of that. That's so fucking cool, you know. Don't watch hacks. Instagram hasn't given us a cent yet. Yeah, we don't. Yeah, they're using our likeness right now for golfing, and fuck it. You know, no, I think, I don't know. I don't necessarily, I've never, I don't. It's the weirdest thing because again, nobody's offering it. It's not a thing that it's not. It's a lot easier for me to say, sitting in front of my computer, streaming to whoever watches to say like, I don't necessarily want to play Madison Square Garden. Nobody's offering it to me. I would love to do fucking comedy for a living. It would be absolutely great to be able to pay bills and or make a profit telling jokes. But ultimately, like I just want to put out good shit. And I want to be a good person while I do it and not have to deal with as much bullshit as I have to. I understand there's dues that need to be paid and there's shit like that, and that's why I'm saying that's what I've never gotten that feeling from Dave Chappelle whatsoever that he's like had anything handed to him. And the fact that he's saying something like fuck you HBO, like I like that. Fuck you HBO. Netflix is cooler. Because like that's something like it's just it's confirmation in something that like it's confirmation in the sense that like when I started podcasting like 4 or 5 years ago, I don't know exactly the time, but it's been a little while. That was something that I loved that art form. Like I liked listening to podcasts. I liked doing that. So it was something that I wanted to put out there, and it was something that I dove into that at the time there were podcasts. Like I had been listening to podcasts and stuff like that and gotten the inkling that I could do it myself. But like they weren't near, like Conan O'Brien wasn't fucking podcasting, and everybody else. By the way, that was another thing. I heard Sarah Silverman on Howard Stern show talking about plugging her new podcast, and I remember like fucking a couple years ago she had this thing where she was such a fucking snob about podcasts. She was so shitty about podcasts that she was like, nobody at this at our house party, or like anybody that was at a party at her house was not allowed to book their podcast at that party. Like, you're not allowed to talk about your podcast. And now she's fucking like, and because she was like so, it was like it's kind of like one of those things of like I don't know why. Obviously, there's people that turn around, but like I didn't forget about that. Like I remembered her saying that, being particularly shitty about podcasts, and then now you've got a fucking podcast. Now you are talking about it on Howard Stern, which is another thing because he's talked shit about podcasts too, and how they think everybody think, and it's like one of those things of like, all you need is one little pandemic, and you kind of realize, oh yeah, all we're doing is fucking podcasting too. All Opie and Anthony ever did was podcasting. All fucking Howard Stern ever does is podcasting. You have the rights to play the music. We don't. That's the only difference. You work for a major radio station, so you can play licensed music. That's the only fucking difference. But guess what? I can make my own music. I got plenty of fart beats made, my friend. So it's kind of taking that same idea of podcasting, but turning it into the whole business of saying like, oh no, I can just do this myself. I'll just do this myself. It's going to take a lot longer, and it's going to be, I don't know if it's going to be harder or easier, but it's at least the harder path that I chose. Like you're not going to be able to make this any harder than you like if you try to do like there's been a lot of things that maybe I didn't make the right decisions with, but like again, much like the card game, much like the CBD snake oil salesman that I dealt with at the flea market, like you live and you learn. You win or you learn. There's not necessarily losing, because he's not getting compensated for the work he did for the streams that he's not getting compensated for them using his likeness or art or anything. But he's not necessarily losing money by them streaming it. But he's just not getting paid what he's owed. And fuck it. Like just because that's a scenario where, again, like, oh, you need some more money. Like I was really shitty about Taylor Swift. I was really shitty about Taylor Swift when she was when she said that thing. She said the what'd she support? It was Spotify. It was like artists getting streams. There, she was saying that indie artists or artists need to be paid for like some deal needed to be struck for being paid for this many streams. Like, oh, if you get this many streams, then the artist gets compensated for those streams, which makes sense. It's kind of like the same thing. Like if it gets played on the radio, if people play with it, like whatever it may be, they're compensated. If it's used for a movie, whatever it is. So I get it. I get that. And contracts and deals need to be updated for things because now streaming is so popular. So, but she was saying the argument she had was indie artists, because the reason artists need to be paid is because there are indie artists that are struggling that need to make money. So, but my argument was like, fuck you, Taylor Swift. You don't give a shit about indie artists because she's not giving examples of bands that she likes that are indie artists that are going to get plays that you could really pop off. She was just saying these independent artists, but they're not getting plays. You just want people to play your music because you want them to support your song, which is one of those things that like I learned from that. It was so funny because Dom and I we rarely argue, or we don't really fight. But the only time I feel like we've ever really gotten to like arguments was about like the Kardashians or Taylor Swift. It's the whitest fucking arguments I feel like ever. And it's the weirdest. It's just because we're so diametrically opposed. I think that's a word that's going to be added to John's spelling list too, also diametrically. And I think I used that right. I think that's also the design on the inside of this hat here too. Diametric maybe. But we are definitely opposites when it comes to I think points of view when it comes to certain types of celebrity. And not good or bad. Like I don't think either one of us are right or wrong. Like it's just two different opinions on two different subjects. But ultimately, I don't believe Taylor Swift, but I believe Dave Chappelle. I don't believe Taylor Swift had the indie artist in mind when she was saying artists need to be paid for plays on streams and blah blah blah. Like I don't believe her, but I believe Dave Chappelle when he's saying like, hey man, can you just not watch? Just don't watch my show. Like when he's saying boycott me, that was such a cool fucking. Like it seemed so spite driven. Like it seemed like I said, he remembered every he said that he remembered every word. From that he remembered his HBO meeting. He remembers all this thing. So like to be able to say that like fuck you now is like that's a dream of mine. I don't give a shit about Madison Square Garden or whatever, like any of those things. That's cool. Yeah, it would be great. Absolutely, whatever. I don't fucking care. Arenas, yada yada yada. Celebrity, whatever. But to be able to go fuck you to somebody like that on that level, to have that level of celebrity, it would be worth it to get to that point. Put out an 18-minute video and drop that. Not only did he do a mic drop, but there was a mic roll if you heard it. I don't know if you heard on that video. There's a mic drop and roll. That was a stop, drop, and roll with that mic. That was impressive. A walk-off fucking home run right at the end. Boosh. I loved it. But yeah, whatever, Ron. I'm not scared of them. He says, Ron Kane's in the Instagram chat. Again, follow Baby Mermaid Productions on Instagram for the live chat. Again, you're going to miss out. You're not going to see it because it's going to be gone after this. It'll be, sure, the episode will live here on YouTube, but I mean, you got to see this. You got to see the chat. Ron saying, you don't want to piss off any Taylor Swift fans. They will cut me. I don't think they actually will. I'm not sure. Also, I got a new knife. I don't know if you could tell. I got a new pocket knife the other day and it works. Works too well. That's the antibiotic ointment. Don't worry, that's not blood. But yeah, so I'm healing. But yes, so I'm armed, Ron. Don't worry about it. I got a knife. But at the same time, he's in a position to do so. Yeah. Oh, I was saying before you got here, Ron, actually, people that say that Dave Chappelle is in a position now to say this, I understand that. But also, like, he's kind of always been saying this. Like, I feel like he started talking like this and saying things like this when initially he left the Chappelle Show after the millions and millions of dollar deal. So, like, I feel like, yes, he's in a position now to say that, but also he's kind of always he's been saying that. So, like, I don't know. Watch the first half hour on YouTube, because I definitely think that there's a there's a definite connect between what he's saying. Like, there's real life implications to things, and there's real life lessons you can learn that you can take into other scenarios. And I think that's truly, if anything, it's a cautionary tale, in that he can say, like, you can do that too. Like, we've all been fucking grifted. We've all been had before. Like, you can take that experience and equate it to anything. It's no fucking different. People that are grifters are fucking grifters. Anybody is a grifter. Anybody has the potential to do that. So I think, DTA, motherfucker. Stone Cold said it too. Don't trust anybody. Or vet them a little bit longer, But there's not necessarily always winning and losing, but there's winning and learning. So, but speaking of, like I said, I don't know if you're here for that part or not, but there's a definite connection between, or there was a shit talking definitely between podcast. That's why I was saying about podcasting was such an independent art form, in this sense that you can do this. I was talking about basically the only difference, Ron, between radio show hosts and podcasters is they have the rights to music, which I'm going to use to segue into my next topic, which I'm glad you're here for, Ron, because I've got some updates to the Spotify Oh Yeah contenders list. Very important. I've done very hard work here. We had some additions and subtractions, obviously, from the last episode. But Ron was one of the people that suggested, and anybody watching on YouTube, anybody watching on Instagram, please either leave a comment about a band that you want to be added to the list, or maybe if you have any comments about what I'm about to say. But I've got a couple additions to the list from Monday's show. I apologize. I forgot what day it was. Thanksgiving Eve, baby. Hall & Oates was added to the list per John Montag. Thank you so much, John. And also, Dom and I were watching The Voice, and have a wild card edition here. Usher. I think Usher might make the list. Usher made the list, at least, of the possible contenders. So he's an addition, but he's on deck. So we're going to find out if Usher makes it. But we got some updates. Somebody that was eliminated from contention is Bad Company, which was Ron Kane's personal, I don't think his number one pick. I don't think, or anything like that, but it was somebody, when I was bringing up, again, the Oh Yeah Spotify contenders list, are artists that have at least 10. There's on Spotify, notice they expanded their top 5 most popular songs to the top most popular 10 most popular songs. Excuse me. So now I just wanted to go through. Oh fuck, what was it? Oh, it originally came up with Foreigner and Journey, a couple other bands, and we're talking about who has 10 most popular songs on Spotify. You stopped like 20 people, 30 people on the street and played them. Basically, any of these 10 songs, they would either like them, know them, or go, oh yeah, oh I didn't know that was them. Shit. Oh yeah, I forgot about that song. I forgot they did that song. Anything, whatever. And those 10 songs, right? They got to have 10 of them. That either they'd be like, man, this is pretty good, or whatever. So, again, just to update everybody, the list is Foreigner, Journey, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Weird Al Yankovic, Foo Fighters, Weezer, Limp Bizkit, and we have some additions. All right. Green Day. Green Day was added. Which it also backs up my point, I feel like, that Green Day is not a punk band. I don't feel like there's a lot of things. The reason I feel like they make it is because not necessarily, oh yeah, I knew that song or something like that. They're like, oh yeah, that one. Like, there's going to be one that's from like a movie trailer that you've seen a million times. There's going to be a song on there that you're like, oh fuck, yeah, I like this song. Oh yeah, that reminds me of this. Like, oh yeah, shit, that was this. Like, a lot of generational things that and they're almost all, I feel like, all on the radio. They're all radio hits that are Green Day's top 10, which is, again, proves my point, not a punk band. I feel like they're an alternative band, much like Foo Fighters and or any other grunge band or anything like that. The reason Bad Company was taken out of contention, I feel like they have a very strong top 5, but as far as 10 songs, like they're 6 and below, not great. Also not a great store. 5 below is better. That one's for you, John. All their songs are about love and fantasy. I mean, it just seems like they just seem like kind of desperate, nerdy rockabouts. Not. It's okay though. You know what I mean? I know. Ron's not too hurt about it. But Green Day definitely also great for sports. Like in general, I feel like there's a lot of songs by Green Day that I've heard in arenas. There's gonna be so many songs that I feel like 10 out of 10 Green Day, 10 of their most popular songs, if you played them for whoever you stopped on the street, there's going to be a good portion of them that are like, oh, yeah, they play that all the time at blah, blah, blah games. They always play that at the, like Rage Against the Machine, how, like, you're like, all these songs about all these social commentary songs about, like, revolution and protest are great for power play. You know what I mean? Like, they're really good to gear up a crowd for, when there's a really cool, intentional grounding. Like I don't get it. Kickoff a lot of times too. You know what I mean? There's any of these bands, like, so there might be a splinter list of like best jock jam bands, and I know John's gonna be into that. Was this jock jam? Yeah. Jock jam list. Hey, see that? See, this is parallel thinking happening right now live on IG. John Montag is talking about a jock jam list right now, and I feel like Green Day, Rage Against the Machine, Offspring, and Metallica, I feel like are going to top that list. There's going to be more, obviously, but those are the top ones for that. But we'll get into that later. Another addition to the list, Billy Joel. Holy fuck, dude. I did not realize how much I love Billy Joel. Billy Joel, who, not Elton John, by the way. He's just a more accessible Elton John. Billy Joel is an everyman Elton John. He's not Sir Billy Joel. He's just Billy Joel, man. He's fucking like I bookmarked Billy Joel to play pretty much the rest of the afternoon now. For the rest of the afternoon, I'm gonna be listening to Billy Joel when I make my lunch, before I have my the rest of my meetings for today, any of that other bullshit. Every one of them. Every, like, Uptown Girl, longest time. I like doo-wop Billy Joel. It doesn't matter. Billy Joel is a fucking, he is there, and he has so many songs that I thought were Elton John songs. I thought I was a huge Elton John fan. Turns out I'm a huge Billy Joel fan. Love Billy Joel. I'm into it. I don't know anything. Like, I've heard jokes about Billy Joel my whole life. I've been listening to Billy Joel my whole life. I didn't even realize. But Billy Joel, shout out to Billy Joel, man. I know there can't be too many people that I'm gonna turn on to Billy Joel, but as far as, much like Weezer, like my experience with Weezer, where I would go like, God damn, I forgot. Or I just didn't know. I didn't realize what Billy Joel really was. Not Elton John. Elton John is on the list. So, I don't know. Springsteen, I don't know, Ron. I mean, I'll add him on there. I think Springsteen, I don't necessarily, much like Journey, Bruce Springsteen is a band or a performer that I don't necessarily even love his hits. So I'll put it in there. But that one, if anything, that one's going to be one of those, oh fuck, I didn't know that was him. But if he might be more of a top fiver, but I'm going to add him on there. Springsteen. I don't even know if I spelled that right. Black Keys. Okay. All right, Casey. Black Keys. We got some more additions. Get them in for before the holidays because I feel like we're all going to be cooking. We all need these for contention because I want to hear what you guys say too. You know what I mean? Joel over Springsteen every day. Yeah. Oh, that's for sure. To me, Billy Joel hopped up way big time. I've been sleeping on Billy Joel, and that's my bad. I know I'm in the wrong here. I'm not somebody that's here to tell you about Billy Joel. I'm here to spread the good. Have you heard the news about Billy Joel? He's still good. It holds up. All of it. Like I'm gonna put Led Zeppelin on here because I'm thinking of that now because I don't know if there's gonna be necessarily because I started delving into Leonard Skinner, but I was like, I need some more time with this because I don't know if I just know all these songs. That's what it was with Green Day. But then I remembered the sports events that I've been to in my life, whether it be of the ball or puck variety. And pretty much every time I hear a Green Day song, and I'm like, that's not just me. People know these songs. And they're on the radio. They got the music videos. They're in movies. That's where all of those are coming into. So like when I found out that Talking Heads did "Take Me to the River," I was like, what the fuck? I had no idea. I remember that from the singing fish guy. Nuts. Did not know it was a Talking Heads song. Did you guys know that? Rod Stewart. All right. John coming in hot with a Rod Stewart. I think Rod Stewart's going to be another one of those ones. So this brings me to my next band, The Police. That was another band that was added. Holy fuck. There was not only that, but there's one like obviously in the top 10, there's going to be one that I think maybe I'm just out of the loop with that somebody has to know. But there was a song on their top 10 that was called Walking on the Moon. What the fuck are you talking about? Listen to that song. Listen to Walking on the Moon by The Police on any streaming service. Doesn't matter. Just not HBO. Go and actually give it some time. Pay attention to the lyrics and tell me what the fuck he's talking about. But the one right after that, So Lonely, holy shit. This is a term that I came up with on What About with Andy and Pat. We just did our most recent episode was about Leftover Crack's Mediocre Generica. And I don't know the correct term when something is a bop or when it slaps. So I came up with my own term, slappy boppers. And I'll tell you what, So Lonely by The Police is a slappy motherfucking bopper. Holy shit. It slap bops all up and down your fucking neighborhood. I'll tell you what. Listen to So Lonely and tell me that's not a great song. It's fucking crazy. The Police definitely, not only that was added immediately to my playlist. That's on rotation now. Hardcore. They've got the Every Breath You Take. They got all that stuff. Blah blah blah. Also, do da da da. Come on, not a fan, but I know it's a hit. I know the song. There wasn't a lot of surprises except for So Lonely. That caught me off guard. That and Walking on the Moon. Never heard that song before, and it fucking sucks. It's a terrible song. So you're on notice, but you're on the list. Slappy bops. Slap bops. Oh, the Ramones. Okay, I can add that. I'll add that. Rod Stewart. The Ramones. I like these. Okay. I don't know if the Ramones is going to get 10. They might be a strong 5, but 10, I don't know. And also, by the way, speaking of bands that made the list, into the contenders list, that have a song that I fucking hate, but every other one is a bop. Sloppy bop. Queen. Heavy contender. There's again, we're talking sports games. Go to sports games. Every time they're going to rock you. Maybe they're the champions. Who knows? Both of those. They own both of those? Every time any team wins, eventually somebody's going to play We're the Champions. when the people who are in charge of making all the noise and getting everyone else very excited, they're going to want you to rock them, right? Please. Will you? Yes. They're going to rock you. The Ramones are cool t-shirts, but that's all. Much like the Misfits. I don't know. The Misfits might even have a 10. No, I'm just kidding. No, the Misfits wouldn't have a 10. But I think the Ramones might be another one that will, because I think Ron is thinking much like the jock jams and or sports arena jams. Some of the lessers, like some of the ones when they go to like, oh, here's some, they have like what is it? Rock and Roll High School, stuff like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's curveballs like that. I feel like people are going, oh, I didn't know that was them. But there's like one for sure. I can't remember the name of the song by the Ramones. That's like that. Hold on a second. There's one that I'm like, holy shit, I didn't know that. Like it makes sense because like once I'm like, I see it's almost like once you see the album art, you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Now I can hear Joey Ramone singing. Now I can hear like how it sounds, like it sounds like different because you have Blitzkrieg Bop, you have all the, like everybody, there is definitely a couple songs by the Ramones that everybody does know, but I don't know if they would have 10 necessarily. I Want to Be Sedated, right. Strong 3 for Miss. You think it's 3, really? I don't know about that. Hold on. Man, Spotify always suggests Fugazi to me, and I'm sick and fucking tired of it. Enough. Pet Sematary is a great song. They know the movie. I don't know if they... the song was obviously in the movie soundtrack, right? Had to have been. I don't want to be buried. Oh, now I'm going to get kicked off. I don't think I have it on here. I thought I had added it recently. Nope. Doesn't look like it. No Slappy Bops in here. Nope, I thought it would be near the end of the list. I was going to add Kiss, too, but I don't know if they got 10. But, you know what I mean? Oh, it was in the movie. Okay, good. All right, well, I would assume. It's... As far as movie soundtracks go, I think the Ramones being on Pet Sematary is perfect. And especially now thinking of the lyrics to that song, of course it's about the movie. Of course it's about the movie, because it's I don't want to be buried in a pet cemetery. That makes sense. It makes total sense. I'm a fucking fool. I'll add the Ramones on there. I don't know if they're going to make 10, but so just to update, eliminated from contention, Bad Company, but added with so our Spotify top 10 contenders right now, 10, Foreigner, Journey, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Weird Al, Foo Fighters, Weezer, Limp Bizkit, Green Day, Billy Joel, Queen, and the Police. Do not defund those police. Just the other ones, please. The other police. Not do-do-da-da-dee-dee. Okay? The other ones. I think we added, and added to the, hold on, let me take this off. We got this one taken care of. Police taken care of. Billy Joel, Green Day, Bad Company. So, we're going to be going over Hall & Oates. So, still remaining on the list, Lynyrd Skynyrd, Elton John, who I think is going to be a damning top 10 list with him. Because I think a lot of the songs that I thought I loved from Elton John are actually Billy Joel songs. So, you might be in trouble. We're going to find out when we're cooking a turkey this week, sorry. Before our Black Friday spelling bee with me and John Montag this Friday at 11 a.m. till 1 p.m. I don't know if it's going to be the whole show. I don't think it's going to be the whole show, but if it is, I'll have a list. I'm gonna make as many words that I have to look up, so he's going to lose. We're going to keep track. We're actually going to keep score, and this is the first annual Black Friday spelling bee. Pat George against John Montag. Come for it, brother. Friday morning, motherfuckers. /afternoon. Come watch it. But before that, we's going to be brining a turkey We're making our own. We have not done. We spoke about this a little bit on Monday with John. He joined us for a little bit on IG Live. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, you can follow the show or the page. Sorry, at Baby Mermaid Productions, and you will also be invited to join the chat there. You can also join in on audio. Anybody watching, just ask to join the chat, and your audio will be featured on the YouTube video, but will be deleted at the end of this. So if you want to watch anything that happens in the chat, please follow the Instagram. If we were talking about what traditions you have as far as, food, what are the traditional foods that you like to eat on Thanksgiving? So when we're cooking those, we're going to be listening to this music. While we're waiting for it to cook, we're going to be watching some traditional holiday movies. So we kind of kicked it off. I don't think this is something that I wanted to be more open to, and I wanted to see what your traditional holiday Thanksgiving movies are. Everybody watches A Christmas Story around Christmas time. The Grinch, you got you got the Charlie Browns, blah, 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 blah. But last night we fucked with the Coneheads. Haven't watched it in fucking years. We haven't watched the Coneheads in years. Not that it's necessarily a Thanksgiving movie. They don't even mention Thanksgiving, I don't think, at all. Which would have been a really funny topic, I feel like, for them to learn about. Because that's kind of their deal. There's a big joke there because everything in the movie Coneheads is every time they eat, they're eating 100 fucking things, or they eat a whole Subway sandwich, or they eat 35 ring dings, or whatever the fuck it is. They eat in bulk. 2 huge missed opportunities, and I don't know if they're as popular in those days. Well, obviously Thanksgiving is fucking popular in the 90s. Nobody hated anything about Thanksgiving yet. I mean, it wasn't as widely hated, I feel like, at the time. Was missed opportunity, them shopping at Costco and or Sam's Club. If they found out about Costco or Sam's Club in the Coneheads, that would have been a fucking hilarious joke. Completely missed that opportunity. And also the Coneheads celebrating Thanksgiving. Huge joke there because they love to gorge themselves. They wouldn't have had leftovers. That's the joke. 2 huge opportunities missed to make the Coneheads a Thanksgiving movie. Them discovering bulk shopping and them discovering American gorging holidays. Both of those. They had multiple where they jokes where they're like, oh, they're bowling. Oh no, they're hitting, oh, we think that's cones. That's good, but it's not great. It could be better, but the movie holds up. So if there's a movie, a holiday Thanksgiving movie, besides, obviously we watch Our Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, where they're just literally just celebrating Thanksgiving in the movie. But what's a Thanksgiving movie? What's a movie that you guys like to watch around Thanksgiving with your family? Something that maybe I haven't watched. I feel like Coneheads is not going to be that movie for me, even though it does hold up. It just was in the playlist. It was in our list on Netflix. So it kind of was just something, let's see if this still holds up. Totally does. But some missed opportunities. Could have been a Thanksgiving movie. So I don't know if I feel like a lot of, oh, what's up? Let's go for it, bro. Jeff is here. Porn. Yeah, Manny wants porn. That's cool. Parade. Oh, yeah, the parade. Yeah. What's up, Jeff? Oh, wait, hold on. Let me turn you up. There we go. How's it going, buddy?
It's going well. How are you, man?
I'm doing well. Welcome to GDP Live. On right now is Professor Jeff Beck, Mr. Black Belt himself. I don't. Are you talking about? What Thanksgiving movies do you like to watch?
Anal Avengers 4.
Anal Avengers 4. Okay.
Yeah. It's a family favorite. There's something in it for everybody.
Okay, I'm gonna write that one down. Is that a canon with the other Avengers, like the Marvel Avengers, or is this a different kind of Avengers?
No, it has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with anal. That's it.
Oh, okay. And she's is she an actress or? Oh, no. That anal. Oh, Jeff gets.
I thought
it.
I was being too subtle about it.
Oh, this is going to be a back room rent. Okay, hey.
yeah, this is an over 18 rent.
All right.
This is a family show, though, isn't it?
No, not at all. This is gross and it's domesticated, but it's not family.
Yeah.
No,
yeah. I mean, I think you can make an argument that it's not a Thanksgiving movie, but I mean, once you've watched it, you're very thankful.
I mean, there's something getting stuffed, I'm sure. right?
I mean, I think there's a lot of metaphor here.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of metaphor. I feel like we watch like don't you feel like I don't know if there's ever those movies that you watch that if like while you're like gearing up for um like I don't know what it is like when I think of something when like I listen to a band or watch a movie or something like that, it automatically kind of shoots me off into like another like stream of consciousness of where like now I'm starting
Sure.
that reminds me of this and that reminds me of this and I start so like listening to all this classic rock and shit like that, like I've been compiling this Spotify contenders list, and
Yes.
and and it's been like it's been putting me in this like oh I remember this song from this scene in this movie. I'm gonna watch that movie to see if it holds up. Do you have those movies like those things that like every once in a while you think about it, you're like oh shit like what was the last movie that like that for you?
That's a good question. I don't have the answer for that one.
You don't really you don't love movies that much, do you?
No, I like movies a lot. Yeah, I don't know, love movies. No, probably not.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, they do tend to spiral though, and I think that I mean the latest one was just a whole heaping mess of Top Gun. Right?
Oh really?
What happened to Top Gun Maverick? Speaking of movies, remember that was supposed to come out? Did that come out?
I think that might have been a casualty of
COVID.
Of COVID. Yeah, I think so because like that was probably supposed to be like a huge summer movie. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Or Thanksgiving movie as it were. Anal Avengers 4, Top Gun Maverick.
Top Gun Maverick. Do you think that was like would that have been one? How often do you go to like the theaters?
Almost never.
Okay. So that wouldn't have been like one that got you out of your house.
No, that one would have gotten me out of the house.
Oh, really?
Sure. Oh yeah.
So I feel like the only ones that I ever go to are ones that I feel like are like almost like theme park rides. Like if I watch like an Avengers movie or something like that, or something 3D. Ever since we got these attachments, we got new glasses not too long ago. And when we ordered the glasses on this website, I'm not going to give them a plug. You have this attachment that you can add, like almost like the sunglasses, like how they clip on the outside.
Yeah.
You can get those attachments, but they're 3D they're 3D glasses.
Right.
So when you go to the movies, you can bring your own 3D shits and you can put them right on your face, which would be perfect for COVID because you're not, sharing glasses and hoping that they're sanitized, but is also terrible because COVID killed every single movie theater in existence.
It did.
Forever.
That's right. Right. But getting back on your topic, though, I do have an answer for you.
Oh,
and
okay.
that is, and speaking of like classic rock, Iron Eagle. You ever watch Iron Eagle?
I don't think I've ever seen that.
You've never seen Iron Eagle? Oh
Uh-uh.
my God. Okay, so you got to put it on your list because I'm going to tell you why. It's got a fantastic soundtrack to it. So every time, like, for instance, if you're a fan of Queen, okay, there's the whole story surrounds Doug Master. Was Queen on the list?
Yep, I just added them to the list. I fucking hate Radio Gaga, but I agree with every other song completely.
Okay, well, right. I mean, everybody's got their opinion.
Yeah.
But the point with this is that all I can tell you is that Doug Masters, he's got his shit dialed in, man.
Okay.
He went in and I mean, well, he stole an F-16 and saved his father from sure execution, but all to the soundtrack of like all of his favorite tunes, including Twisted Sister and Queen, and I mean, and so yeah, so in that vein, every time I hear these tracks, I mean, I'm right in that cockpit with Doug. I'm in the cockpit with Doug Masters.
Holy shit. So is there like a scene, is there like a dedicated scene or whatever? Is there like a time where he's like puts like a cassette in the tape and was like, I got
Oh yeah.
Okay.
There's a couple of them.
Fuck yeah.
Like when the shit hits the fan, like and he needs to like dig deep, he pulls out that cassette and puts it right into he's got his cassette player on his thigh, while he's flying, and he slaps that sucker in, man. And I mean, Did you see
MacGruber?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like, isn't there a scene like that where he takes his radio out every time with him, or is that MacGruber?
Yeah.
Or what
I don't know if that was MacGruber.
Fuck, there was a movie like that. I can't remember which movie it was, where like he took his radio out everywhere he went. It wasn't MacGruber though. It was something. It was like a spoof movie like that. But see now we're getting into another lane of like. It reminded me of Hot. You're reminding me of Hot Shots.
Oh yeah, Hot Shots,
of
right?
with Char. I think basically what I'm saying is every time somebody reminds me of a movie, when I was listening to this, when I was listening to uh fuck, who was it? Red Hot Chili Peppers. I was like, okay, they're on the list. Hey, look, there's 10 songs that you could play for pretty much anybody you stop on the street. You could play any one of those 10 songs and they're going to go like, "Oh fuck, I remember this song. This song's great." Or, "Oh, I like this one." Or, "Oh yeah, I didn't know this was them." Like something like that. It reminded me of these are good and everything, but I feel like Weird Al did it better. So I think that's
Yeah.
my thing. I just love spoofs of everything.
Okay, well, fair enough.
I think
Fair enough.
so. Like you're like, oh yeah, Top Gun. I'm like, yeah, cool, Hot Shots. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The movie that Top Gun was based off of, Hot Shots.
which is also Balls of Fury. I don't know if you've ever seen that. I can suggest that one.
I mean, I'm familiar with it. I don't know that can't remember if I've watched it or not.
It is not a triple X title. This is one you could probably watch with your family. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
It's not like Anal Adventures, or Anal Avengers. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, that's an entirely different series.
You're right. That's my bad. I'm sorry. You did say Anal Avengers 4, right? Is the one I should start with?
Yeah, I mean, it took a little bit. Three of the movies were okay, but the fourth one.
That's when they really got it together. It's kind of like God. You don't need to watch Godfather 1. You can just watch Godfather 2, and you get it.
You get the whole right, exactly.
And they're all masterpieces.
Exactly.
Yeah, I just love spoofs. That's all it is. I love that. I don't know why this is not working today, but I updated it my computer, and I feel like it's working against me now. The machines have already started to take over.
It was only a matter of time.
Yeah. That's I started. Have you watched Dave Chappelle's latest offering at all? Unforgiven.
Which one? No, I have not.
It's an 18-minute video, and I think it's something. I was talking about it at the top of the show. It was much like it's something that I think you would really identify with too. It was something along the lines of going your own way and doing your own things and learning from your mistakes almost. Sure. That's at least how I took it. And I think not learning from your mistakes, but learning in a way that you can't necessarily trust everybody.
Right.
Not that you shouldn't trust anybody, but you should definitely trust your gut, because I feel like it's kind of it was really cool. I highly suggest it, especially coming from somebody who for anybody that's watching on YouTube now, and you can see behind me some of Jeff's lovely work. Jeff is a friend, not only a jujitsu practitioner, but this is my third cup of coffee. I'm buzzing right now.
Hammered, man. Yeah, look at you. You're out of control.
Oh shit! Switch the camera. Oh, there we go. He's also a designer of. He's a brand designer.
Brand identity designer. I'm a graphic designer, right? And I specialize in brand identity.
Right. Yeah. And you are somebody that has taught me, I feel like, just as much. And if anybody watching right now, we did a whole interview with Jeff on a past episode of Gross Domesticated Podcast, is on the playlist. Jeff Beck is a wonderful man. I feel like you are somebody who has taken a little bit of action as far as like shutting back down for like COVID and stuff like that. How is this year been for work for you the most?
It's been great. I mean, it's been crazy. Now, I'm understanding that like I didn't have to transition too much. I mean, I've been working from my home office for over a decade at this point. So, I mean, this is for everybody else that had to start working at home. I feel for you. It is definitely a transition, and I think most of the concerns over like your own lack of discipline, whether you're able to like stay out of the fridge, stay off the couch, or stay off the TV. What they find is that most people are actually more productive at home than they are in the office. That's not the case for everybody.
Yeah.
Some people really need that office environment, and they just miss it. They don't want to be at home. And then they also have the added caveat of, being at home with their kids on top of everything else if you've got children. So, I mean, it's not the same thing. But overall, people are more productive at home. They feel compelled to actually sit down and do work. I mean, here's the thing. I mean, there's the misnomer, and now we're rabbit trailing into some other topic. But there's a misnomer people that go to work in an office are actually sitting down and working 8 to 10 hours a day, but they're not. You're spending at least half of that time, fucking around, trying to avoid work, trying to avoid meetings, emails, and your actual work. And then you lack motivation to actually get that stuff done. But at home, it seems that you're a lot more focused on actually accomplishing those missions, because if you get that work done, that means you can go to the fridge and go hang out on the couch or go watch television or do whatever.
Right.
Yeah. So it's much more motivating.
Yeah, I feel like that's it. It kind of plays into. I remember there was a scene in Clerks, Kevin Smith's movie, where there's they put up the sign and like a thing with just money, a box with just money in it, saying like make your own change or whatever, you're being watched or what. Like everybody, it was like this kind of thing of like, if you're working from home, you're probably assuming this is too easy, I can't just get away with this. Right. You kind of have this thing of, I feel like not only do I feel more productive sometimes when on less anxious days, let's say, but sure. I also feel like I have somewhat of a, like, I overwork. I don't know when not to work.
That's right. That becomes the bigger issue, is learning how to shut it off and go to your, go about your personal day.
Right.
Yeah, and leaving work at work, and the rest of your life to the rest of your life. Yeah.
Yeah, and not having, and even not having like like a jujitsu like morning routine or something like that. Something like that. It's just, to me, I'm just so routine oriented that once, like, it doesn't matter how much sweats I'm wearing or how comfortable I am or or whatever it may be, or how like it's still like this weird like anxiety that I get of like I should have some kind of organization here, because it's weird without that structure, without going to an office or going to a job or something like that and having somebody say, here's what you should be doing from this time to this time. I need to build that myself, because otherwise I'll wake up and I'll just kind of be aimlessly walking around until 11 o'clock. And then it's like, okay, now at least I know what I'm supposed to be doing from 11 to 1. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Or at 2 o'clock. Do you know what I mean? Like, I have certain things like that where I feel like things like it just shows me that, oh, I'm also maybe not a great manager. You know what I mean?
Oh, right. For sure. I'm a terrible manager. This is, I have no business managing people unless it's on the jiu-jitsu mat, but like otherwise, like I'm not that guy.
Right.
But I think, I am responsible for some people in terms of business and so forth. But I mean, for the most part, they're left to their own devices. But here's the thing. If you're working from home, and which many of us are, and you guys want to, like, you don't have like a scheduled meeting or something like that, like, and you want to go outside and skateboard because it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon and it's warm, go skateboard.
Yeah,
go outside and go play for a while. Go do something that, so so when you come back home, you got to put an hour or so after dinner or something. Put an hour in after dinner. Who cares?
Yeah.
There's nobody there. There's no one there like wagging their finger. And let's be honest, most middle managers are only walking around making sure you're working because they're trying to avoid work themselves.
Right. It's all numbers. It's all numbers based. It's all basically people just saying like, I need to make sure this many people do this much work, and then that's my job. Like, right. It's like it's everybody. Right. Everybody's doing the bare minimum because they're like, if they try too much, and that's another thing. People a lot of times, once you get into that structure, you don't. Once I get into that routine, I feel more comfortable expanding or changing that routine. Once a part of that routine is changed, then it's like, oh shit, I'm responsible for filling that. You know what I mean? Like, if it's a thing that, because it's cool. It's almost like I just add more to my plate until I don't have enough plate, so I eat more, just so I could fill that spot. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like it's a weird thing, but it definitely has been. It's something that kind of relates to, again, what I was talking to at the beginning of the show about like the Dave Chappelle thing of. People are saying he's in a position now to say things that he's saying, but it's like, I think he's been saying that the whole time. I think people just missed it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's true. I mean, of him, like, his early departure from showbiz in the first place. I mean, he talks a lot about that stuff when he's returned. What that meant for him and what he needed to do to get out of there. And it's a lot of people are in that boat in a bizarre way right now. In terms of COVID and like what decisions that they have to make, and those types of things come. All of this comes with a certain amount of anxiety from both sides. One is the feeling that you have the right, the right thing to do, you have to do it.
Right.
And then what you perceive everyone else thinks you should do, which is usually in contrast to what you think you should do.
Right.
And that's just because they're just waiting for somebody else to say, I'm going to do that too. And they're like, okay, whoo, now I can do it.
Yeah. Oh, somebody else is doing that? Okay.
It's a drag, man. Yeah, it's a drag. And the truth of the matter is that there's no good, there's like every choice, every decision has there's a punishment for it. I mean, that's just the way that it is. There's no right answer, guys. That's the big
but there almost always is a right choice. Like that's the thing, is like there is a right and wrong sometimes. It's about
maybe
it's I mean,
maybe I should say there's no wrong answer, but there's usually a right answer.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is like it's not saying that ultimately what you're comfortable with, what you're supposed to be doing. So whether it be your responsibilities as far as job and or life, what you're supposed to be doing. So like there is a right way in that. There's a right and wrong for everybody, but there isn't necessarily a universal right and wrong. I think that's maybe the right way to put it. You know what I mean? Like there's a right and wrong for everybody. But
right.
But and what it is. I hate when people act like they don't know what it is, when they're just like, oh, I don't, this keeps happening. It's like, well, then why don't you stop doing that?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but it's like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it's of our own volition. Is that the right way to say that?
Sure. But what isn't, though? I mean, everything is really. I mean, It comes down to like, the decisions that you make and like how you react to certain circumstances. I mean, it's not, the rest of the stuff is circumstantial. I mean, you have no say over it. The shit happens, and that's the end of that.
Right. Yeah, and that's the important. That's, I guess, the most important takeaway. And just for anybody listening to Jeff here on YouTube, you can find more of this beautiful insight on our 6 a.m. podcast playlist, and look for new episodes of the 6 a.m. podcast coming soon.
Yep, coming soon.
And I've been speaking of inspiration and stuff like that. It's the weirdest thing. I have been doing, and also this kind of goes into what we're talking about as far as schedule aspect of it too.
Right.
A thing that I wanted to do with this show, because a thing that I wanted to be responsible for when it comes to podcasting and putting out content, was trying to put out content that added something else. It added, yes, it's a discussion as far as, we're talking about top 10. This parameter for this top 10 playlist is very specific. They have to have 10 excellent songs that you think you played any of them for. Anybody you stopped on the street, they would either recognize, or not realize that was that person. So like it's a little bit different, but mainly it is a selfish reason. Obviously I want followers. Obviously I want to do this for a living, but I want to be a better person too, Jeff. So that's why I invented Pat's Word of the Day.
Ooh.
Because
but let me ask you this. Before you jump to the Word of the Day, is Enya on your list? Because it should be.
Enya.
Yeah.
You know who we just added? I just added last night. Dom suggested Usher.
Oh, Usher.
And I was like,
right.
Yeah, I think so. I think he might actually make that. So Enya, I'm going to try it. It's Enya, right?
Sure. Okay.
Wait, is this a joke or are you for real? You think Enya's actually on there?
No, I don't think Enya's on there. God damn it.
It's too late. Sorry, it's written right next to Iron Eagle's soundtrack. So, no, but some of the words that it's basically what it is. It's not only have I've been reading more about subjects that I like. I also picked up chess, Jeff.
Oh, you did? I saw that actually.
In lieu of jiu-jitsu, I have learned a lot from chess that I feel like I have taken a lot from what I've learned from jiu-jitsu and brought it to chess for sure.
Okay.
There's a lot of things of, I'm going to put this guy here because I want you to go here so I can go here. Do you know what I mean?
I do.
You don't, do you?
No, I do.
You don't believe me, do you?
They refer to jiu-jitsu as human chess. So, I mean,
oh, really?
A lot of parallels. Yeah, of course.
Oh, see, I also didn't realize also, what's there's a very popular Gambit, something Gambit. Shit. I can't remember what it is. It's the Gambit something or other. There's a show happening right now, very popular on Netflix, that is also exclusively about chess. So I have inadvertently stumbled into something that everybody knows everything else about, and I know nothing about. So you're saying
right. Okay. Yeah,
jiu-jitsu is like chess. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I figured that out.
You did it all on your own, too.
Ooh, it's all up here. So Queen's Gambit. That's what it is. Queen's Gambit.
Okay. Yeah.
So basically, Pat's word of the day has been me kind of taking this. I don't know how I ended up on Word Genius's email list. Somebody sold my information, and I'm benefiting with some Queen's Gambit. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So just to update everybody, since I missed Friday's show, I doubled up the words last time. So the first word that I missed from Friday was diegesis, which is basically just the plot of a movie. It's literally they use the word, the definition. You know, like you say, this is what this is about. It's just another thing to say that. It's the plot of a movie. It's the diegesis of a movie. It's really a useless word. So we repurposed the word thanks to John Montag, friend of the show and host of Hacks. He renamed the definition to it's the dump you take after a feast. that first Thanksgiving dump that you take the next day, that's diegesis. That's the condition that your stomach is in. It's like basically Thanksgiving-itis.
Okay, yeah, I like it. Yeah, that's very true. I think it is a action that deserved a term.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's what Brock Lesnar had. I think isn't that what he got? Diegesis. So
yeah, it's rare, but it happens.
All right. So, and the other one was, I believe it was pronounced multivocal or multifocal.
Okay.
Which is open to different meaning or interpretations. Which is the show,
as most things are.
Right. That's what this show is. This is I can't remember the pronunciation, but today's word I actually think I know. I think I'm already familiar with this word, both how to say it and what it actually means. It's spelled just real quick, Anomalous. Anomalous, and that is, I believe, if I remember correctly, from just words. It's Greek origin, mid 17th century. It's an adjective. It's deviating from what is standard, normal, or expected. Much like the show, hopefully, also.
Right.
I would hope.
Correct.
And let's see if we're right on the pronunciation.
Anomalous.
Oh, come on, lady.
Anomalous.
Yep, nailed it.
You can give me the gold star anytime you want.
That was it. You said it first, but I knew it. I didn't even have to sound it out. I already knew this one. One of the first words on, actually, I believe the first word of the day that I ever did was andragogy, ANDRAGOGY, I believe it was andragogy.
Okay.
Which is adult education.
Okay.
And I was like, well, why don't you just call it adult education? So that's essentially how the whole bit was initially introduced, and it's just kind of gone from there. And so far, these words, I feel this one made me a little cocky. I was like, oh, I know this one. I feel like the next one's going to be a real doozy, though.
Yeah, yeah, you're going to pay for that.
And we also have the spelling bee this Friday. John Montag challenged me to a Black Friday spelling bee. So live on the show Friday, we're going to be doing Black Friday spelling bee. So
awesome.
That's going to be
can't wait to see it.
Terrifying. I'm going to make some big words for him, and he's definitely going to embarrass me.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. And I don't and any other movies or anything like that. I feel like I've been trying to figure out, because of everything like shutting down and everything, like kind of like we're all going back into our holes for the winter just to make sure nobody dies, hopefully, again, and nobody unnecessary deaths or whatever it may be. I've been trying to figure out, like, not just getting into the same rut as, like, sitting and waiting. So I've been trying to be proactive as far as keeping my mind
proactive versus reactive, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
So
yes,
it's
empowering, man. It's empowering.
It definitely feels manicky at times, but it's not. It's a constructive manic. Do you know what I mean?
No, you'll have to explain that to me.
It's almost like taking OCD and like getting a job where you organize stuff. Okay. You know what I mean? Like it's taking a thing where I'm like, just write down all of your good ideas, and then now you just have a list of artists and art. Like I mean, I don't know how else to expand musical knowledge than checking out. I thought, by the way, I discovered during the making of this list that Billy Joel is not Elton John. I had no idea.
Flash for you.
I had no idea.
Not the same person.
I had no idea that Elton John was not from Staten Island. I had not, or Long Island. Which one is it? I don't know.
I don't know. But I mean, Elton John is from across the pond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
It's not. It's not crazy. There's people born over there all the time, and they make music. But so yeah, it's not super crazy.
Couple of these bands are born over there. I'm telling you what, man. There's music from everywhere.
Yeah.
I do like that. It did start getting, like I said, it started out as way more of a classic rock list for sure, but I do like the fact that it got more not skewed. I feel like more. There's not a lot of ones in here that are surprises. I feel like there's a couple. Like I said, Billy Joel was one where it turns out that I was a way bigger Billy Joel fan than I had recognized, and and also the fact that I genuinely thought a lot of the songs that I was listening on the Billy Joel playlist were absolutely Elton John songs. So
no, I would not have had that problem, but that's okay. You've just expanded your musical knowledge.
And I also, by the way, I'm a little nervous because I have Elton John on the list as well. I don't know what that's going to turn out like.
Yeah, it's hard to say. So, I mean, your list though, I mean, includes that these are popular tunes that everybody knows, right? So, I mean, there's usually nostalgia connected to that tune for one reason or another. But the real question then becomes, is that like, would you sit down and listen to the entire like Elton John library?
Right.
Would you listen to both sides of the record? You know, is this something that over time you would consider, you know how this goes, right? You're like, you listen to a band, you're like, oh, that's good. Or I really like that track. I should listen to the rest of their stuff. And you're into it for like a week. And then you're like, I'm kind of over this. This isn't really my jam.
Yeah.
It has no longevity to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of those for sure. And like, that's why it's no matter what, it's something that I do appreciate that I naturally have, just built in me somewhere. And I don't, that's where this kind of comes into. I don't know if it's a flaw, a character flaw in a way, or if it's just a thing, but I kind of feel like I constantly need to update my Rolodex of like good art, of art that like is like still holds up. That's like I hate to say it, in the whole pantheon of all Batman films that have been created, I think Batman Forever is up there. Look into it. Revisit them, guys. Look, you're saying that George, or not? Was it no? That was Val Kilmer. That Val Kilmer in a suit with nipples is more ridiculous than some guy getting his back broken and still climbing out of prison. Do you know what I mean? Like, is that more ridiculous?
Yeah, I think we have to be able to put these ideas into context, when we're talking about, especially about superhero movies. And by the way, I'm the wrong guy to ask because I hate almost every superhero movie ever made. I think they're dumb as shit.
They are. So there's no stakes. There's never any stakes.
Just, and like I know I would get a lot of grief for that one, but it's just not my thing. You guys like superhero movies, like go for it. I mean, that's awesome. They're just usually not my jam.
I'm more in your camp also, so that's maybe. And again, that's why I say a lot of times when people are asking, or let's say we get into these discussions, that's why I do realize that my list is going to be a lot different than a lot of other people's lists because of not that I'm such a interesting, unique person. It's literally just my perspective and outlook on art. And that's why I always tell people and I remind them, I'm not a great bar. For things
Oh,
that
right. No,
things
for
that
sure.
are
Yeah.
offensive and things that make you laugh or entertain you, I don't feel like I'm a great bar for like overall. I genuinely feel like Batman Forever is one of the better Batman movies as far as you're talking about a guy who dresses up like a bat, calls himself Batman, and you know what I mean? Like everything's bat themed.
Right.
We've had these discussions before in private, and you've heard my opinion. Once, if your life is all of one thing, you're a fucking dork. If it's all politics,
you
you're
know,
a dork. If it's all just one particular thing, you're a dork.
Bat Cave, Batmobile, Bat Phone, Bat Signal, Bat,
Yeah,
Batarang. I mean, it's just like it's starting to.
you're a dork.
You're becoming very one-dimensional, my friend.
Right. Do you like bats? No, I hate them. I'm terrified of them. What?
What?
You fucking idiot. You know? I mean, it's just one of those things. Like, so I'm not a great bar for come to Pat for what's the best Batman movie. But if you're like guy who dresses up like a bat, like, are you going to want to sit there and watch it and take it seriously? You just legitimized something that is absolutely supposed to be super silly. Like, that's all it is.
Well, look, all I'm saying is that if he was more focused on merchandising and like he had like little pop-up stands in places or kiosks in the mall, I would buy into it more.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you really believe in your product, man.
Right.
I mean, and it's show and prove time, right? So he'll go out and kick some ass, beat some bad guys, and sell some T-shirts. Then you're like, okay, I get it.
Oh, okay. So you're promoting yourself, like
you're
everything.
the Batman. I got you. Right.
As a brand identity guy, you would go like, I like your style, man. I get it.
It's exactly right.
I get what you're doing.
Consistency over time. I appreciate this. Yeah, but really, he just goes and he does some things and then he hides and then he pretends like he's not him, right? But everybody knows it's him.
And he's a fucking billionaire. Like he's a fucking billionaire, and he's going like, and that it's basically he's just doing like super dangerous parkour at night for no reason, and I'm like, I don't want the credit for it though. I don't want any of the credit. Like, oh, you're so humble. Thanks, Bruce. You fucking creep. Why don't you just give all of your money away? Because I can buy more bat stuff.
Like, right, exactly. This is the number one thing that drives me crazy about Batman. I'm like, do you have any idea? And I know like he's supposed to be, very philanthropic and
right.
He's got like, but the reality is if he like focused half of his economic wealth and well-being, he would eliminate or lower crime rates significantly in Gotham City just by doing that. He wouldn't have to go beat people's faces into like.
That is the only time when like if he would have just financially backed Harvey Dent never would have been Two-Face. Are you fucking kidding? Like if he wasn't trying to fuck his girlfriend the whole time, and he's like just like. Batman's a bad guy. He's not a good guy. He's the same as Joker. He's a fucking creep that's trying to screw the guy who's running for DA, his wife, at the same time while he's like saying, I'm Batman, I support you. And he's like, I'm Bruce, I'm trying to fuck your girl. Like, you're counterproductive. You're not helping anybody.
Right.
Just give your money away. Like, and the fact that it's such a torturous existence for him to be Batman, just give your fucking money away, you loser. Give your money away and stop being Batman for once in your life, or just become like a true vigilante. Like Daredevil was just a pro bono. Yeah, I know you know. I know you don't know a lot about. See, I get into the reality of all these superhero shows, and that's where I get lost. That's why I liked X-Men, was the civil rights argument of it.
Okay.
But when it comes down to like laser eyes, I'm like, all right, dude. Like whatever, man. After a while I'm like, let's talk about human rights issues, but like I don't necessarily need, you can control the clouds. Incredible. Ooh. So does the government, you know what I mean? Like
well, yeah, I mean, and it begs the question, and I'm sure that there's some value in that, but I mean, it begs the question, like where we have issues of like of civil rights being violated through existing populations of our world right now. Really, the line that had to be that couldn't be crossed was when people had mutant abilities and could blow shit up or like melt things with their eyes. Now we need to talk about equality.
I love how they're like they skip the water fountain thing right away.
Right. Like, yeah, we don't serve mutants around here. I mean, like. Before all that, it was okay. Like everything was fine.
But but to me, that was even at a young age that I noticed such a great metaphor there because I was like, I always viewed that as the same as like regular just human civil rights. Like you don't realize the superpowers you have. Like for a fucking pasty doughy piece of shit like congressman to go like, y'all ain't allowed to be around here. You know what I mean? To somebody who's like ripped with like a 48 pack and they have like laser hands and eyes and shit like that, and they're like, you're not allowed to be here, and they go, oh, okay, sorry. And they just blow them up. Blow them the fuck up. Like I don't understand that. And that's the kind of thing of like, you don't have to, not killing them, but like blow them up with like, you can literally just pick him up and move him out of, you're so much more powerful than him, and especially all as one. So like it was a perfect metaphor, the fact that the government was able to split the mutants against each other so that they were fighting with each other instead of fighting against the real enemy, which was legislation. Like it's like literal anti-mutant legislation, but the reason none of them were concentrated against that argument was because the government turned them against each other. Tell me that's not a fucking perfect allegory. Oh, is that the right word? For life? Oh, I'm slipping. Hold on. I'm going to have to look that one up. Pat just used a word he doesn't know. Allegory.
Why did you do that?
Because that's another part of the show. Every time I use words that I don't know, I got to look them up.
Okay. And what did you find?
I'll find out. Oh, so far I was pretty much right. I think the other ones were dubious.
That one's a good one though.
And abominable. Actually, that was more just to find out how to say it. And
I mean, you could use the allegory in this context.
Okay.
If you know what it means, though.
Yeah, but I don't, so I can't use it. I'm going to take that back.
I'm going
to retract that
one.
It
works from the political. Okay, it works from the political side of things. How
okay.
about that?
Okay, good.
So there's a hidden meaning in this that there was purposeful. If you would have to know the writer's intent for it to work, but okay.
Okay, I got you.
All things being considered, you used it correctly.
Okay, I'm still going to look it up though, because I still don't know exactly. Obviously, I'm speaking out of school, so I just like I said, I appreciate so many of the like the real life scenarios that are posed in it. So, like you said, when a lot of these superhero movies are coming out, like the Avengers and stuff like that, it's such a huge scale and it's so fake to me that like, oh, they're in space and they're finding a guy who's gonna kill the world, and it's like, oh, fuck off. It's like, after a while, oh, everybody can fly and everybody's super, and this guy's got the rings and he's got a whole hand that's gold with diamonds on it that makes him God. So, but you can still beat him. Like, I don't understand that. This doesn't make any. There's no stakes.
Right.
Everybody's dead, and then nobody's dead, and then there's just one guy who's dead, and blah. Give me the real shit. Give me the mentally ill Batman, who is like, the conflict is really like, I think Batman's just also a villain.
Right. You know, right.
Really, what it comes down to, he's just kind of a weird,
slightly masochistic. He's not quite sure why he does this to himself.
Yeah.
When's he going to give up the cow? Right.
Yeah, and he's like upset, and definitely there's a weird thing of like, and this just may be me. This is just maybe my weird, like, this is my weird perspective, Jeff. So don't judge me.
No, this is a judgment-free zone. It's your show.
But that's where it comes down to. I kind of want to know how Batman fucks. Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of times,
I don't lose sleep over that question, but okay.
I don't either. And now I will be honest, completely transparent with you, Jeff. I haven't lost a lot of sleep about it either. And really, I'm just kind of thinking about it now because of the fact that everything that he has is Bat-themed. And it's because of a severe trauma that he experienced at a certain age that stuck with him. That is how a lot of your sexual identity is also cemented, is whatever trauma you experience at a certain age during development. Right. So does he bring bats into the room? Is there like a bat ildo?
Look, I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to leave this, because here's the thing. So this is the issue I have with superhero movies in general, is that, or like fantasy films in general, like you either watch them and enjoy them, but like trying to pick them apart, like, first of all, you have to start on a level playing field. none of this shit's real to begin with.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you can't make, we can surmise. But my guess would be is that if Bruce Wayne were a real person and his secret identity was Batman, he would have problems with intimacy. My guess is that he's probably never actually had sex with anyone.
I like that theme. And you know
Yeah.
what? That speaks to his wholesomeness of like, I'm not going to kill anybody. I don't want to do anything. I'm against crime and bad things, all in general. Him saying like, I feel like I am.
Yeah.
He might be even asexual.
Yeah, that's why I think he's probably on the level of asexuality, and he doesn't know how to compartmentalize that to begin with, and not least of which because he's a fanatic. So therefore, he can justify this position of like moral superiority by saying I don't drink, don't do drugs. I mean, he's practically straight edge. Well, he is straight edge, right?
Actually,
so
that's a good point. Yeah,
he's militant. And he probably doesn't. I mean, we're talking like Batman is basically, he's militant straight edge.
Yeah,
he listens to Minor Threat.
Oh my God, we just cracked this wide open. That's what he's popping in. That's his Iron Eagle moment when he gets in the Batmobile. He reaches down for his Minor Threat cassette, and he's just. Like,
it's Ian MacKay. This is exactly who. That's Batman's secret identity.
He even goes into Fugazi. I'm sure, like that level of.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, mind blown. You just blew John Montag's mind. You did it, Jeff. Dude, thanks so much for joining me for this time. I appreciate it. And
thanks for having me on, man.
I hope all is well, and I hope if I don't, I know I will talk to you before then, but publicly, I want to state that I hope Jeff Beck has a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Well, thank you, and I hope you have a wonderful and safe Thanksgiving as well.
Absolutely, buddy. I'll talk to
you. Great talking to you.
I'll talk to you later.
You got it, man. See ya.
See ya. Oh man, Jeff Beck blowing minds on the fucking IG chat. I cannot believe that. Ian's pounding off here in the comments. I'm almost the opposite opinion, knowing how to hurt someone and being able to anticipate movement and react probably makes him a phenomenal lover. Oh, okay. So you think his kung fu, and also Ron Kane pounding off as well. He said, "Don't kink shame Batman." Okay, look, I'm not kink shaming. I just want to know, do bats play a part in the bedroom? Because again, trauma experienced at a certain level, like you identify with that trauma. There's something that happened with butts at some time in my life that made me love butts. I love butts. Butts are great. You know what I mean? I know I'm not the only person that loves butts. It's not exclusive. But I don't have, like, I'm not butt man. My parents weren't killed in front of me, and then I fell into a well of butts or whatever the fuck it. I don't know what the story is exactly. It's origin all of it. So Batman fucks, but is it like is he a dominant lover? Because he's also so dominant as is it like him? So okay, so this is my thing. I don't think, by the way, now this is a great point, and I want to kind of try to bring this all together here. I don't think necessarily Bruce Wayne has ever fucked. I agree with Jeff on that level. I don't think Bruce Wayne has ever fucked. I think every time Bruce Wayne gets a lady back home, like up in his head, like I don't think he puts a costume on or anything like that, but he might do some shit like that. I think he brings Batman stuff. Not only physically, I'm sure he's brought a couple tools in. There's probably a couple things that Morgan Freeman has designed for him that are specifically meant to pleasure ladies. And I think he takes Batman into the bedroom. So I think Batman, I think you're right, John, absolutely fucks. I don't think Bruce Wayne necessarily fucks, if I may. Right? Does that make sense? I feel like that he does all the fucking, like, it's almost like to put it in wrestling terms, we got some wrestling fans in there. Bruce Wayne is Bray Wyatt, and then Batman's the Fiend. You know what I mean? He's a sex fiend. That's the kind of thing. He becomes possessed. And maybe he puts like a blindfold on them, because they never really go into the bedroom. There's like love scenes in a way. Like they're by the fire, they're here, and there's like they wake up and she's got the sheet over her titties or something like that. Like stuff like that. But I feel like Batman fucks, Bruce Wayne captures, brings them home and says, all right, well, now that I've got you here and you like all this stuff and we're hanging out and we love each other and I'm so mysterious, boom. And then when he's doing like, he's like, I'm Batman. She's like, what? Nothing. Like, I think it's something like that. It might even be I think it would be, I don't think Bruce, I don't think, again, Bruce Wayne is the incel. Bruce Wayne is the harmed little boy that brings the lady in. And he's just like, oh, I'm just a little guy. My parents died when I'm just rich and I just got all this money and rock hard abs and shit. And then he brings the lady home and then they're there and he's just like, hold on a second. And he comes back, Batman, ready to fuck. Batman fucks. Bruce Wayne just cucks. That's what it is. I think he's the first ever cuck bull scenario all by himself. I think he like videotapes it and probably watches them later as Bruce Wayne and goes like, I wanted to fuck her though, but Batman gets to. Like I bet it's so much darker. Obviously, I'm doing the work here. I'm sure there's been Batman porno spoofs before, and they just do the, the Joker's actually a lady, not Harley Quinn. They're all ladies. Everybody's a lady, and just Batman fucks them all, or whatever. You know what I mean? I don't know. Let's see here. We've got people pounding off here. With a jawline, John says, with a jawline like that, it's true sin if Bruce Wayne doesn't fuck. Ian's Strong from Strong Words with Ian Strong. Check it out. My episode where we break down the View Askew Universe movies top 10 list, or top 5, or whatever it was. I think it was 8, actually. 8 or 9. Comes out December 7th. Make sure to check that out. Or just check out Strong Words with Ian Strong in general. Listen to it anytime, anywhere you find your podcast. But Strong Words with Ian Strong says, I can see Bruce being a sex addict, supplementing his addictive personality during the day when he can't be Okay, so like it's almost like it is like that. It's like him being able to be Batman but not like have to like risk his life, essentially. Yeah, it's like role playing as Batman. Because that's the thing. Women want to fuck Batman. They're intrigued by Bruce Wayne, but a lot of times like Bruce Wayne he's flaky, he's like unreliable. He like just leaves to go fight with people instead of fucking ladies. So like when he comes back and they're like, "Oh, you upset me. I wish Batman would fuck me." He's like, "Oh, once you make it a job thing, once you're like Batman's fucking you. Oh, I'm into it now. You want to bring Batman in the room?" He wants that three-way. He wishes he could be like with Batman. Like he was as cool as Batman, even though he is Batman. That kind of thing. It's like a weird insecurity thing, I feel like. We got Whiskey Hambone. Hambone's pounding off in the comments. The Batman suit clearly doubles as his gimp suit. That's a good point. I feel like there might be like a faceplate that goes over. Ron Kane pounding off. He's getting BJs in the alleys from the criminal. Yeah. Look, I don't think he goes out as Batman to fug. I think it's just like he's Batman up here. He identifies as Batman when he fucks, not necessarily in like the costume or anything. There's always plenty of superficial bitches in Gotham that would fuck Bruce. And yeah, I think like the philanthropy. Ooh man, I don't even know how to spell that to look it up. But like the fact that he's a rich motherfucker is definitely intriguing because again, and he's also like he's successful. He's dressed well. Looks like he's got it all together. But it like the real life person is the mentally ill guy who is Batman. Like Bruce Wayne's not a real person anymore. I feel like Bruce Wayne, not to get too deep about it, but like Bruce Wayne is dead. Bruce Wayne's just like the cover for an all the time Batman that wants to fuck and just take over the world. So who knows? Yeah, we don't know, but we should definitely write our own fucking movie. I think if anything, this writer's room right here, we're gonna get to the bottom of Batman fucking for sure. I don't know if he's like he's definitely an incel. Bruce Wayne is an incel. He's not alt-right, Ron, but he's definitely an incel. Bruce Wayne is. Because he literally is. He's involuntary celibate because he doesn't like, or maybe he is voluntary celibate, or is voluntary celibate? Who knows? Who knows? But we're going to get to the bottom of it. Look for John Montag, Ian Strong, Ron Kane, and Pat George present Batman Fucks, the movie. Somebody make the poster. Make the poster first. Let's see if we can like fan source this thing. And we got to pick a new Batman. There's going to be a lot of intrigue. Last one was the vampire kid, right? The guy from Twilight. Isn't he? I don't know. Wait, what? He treats Gotham like a lady and everyone's trying to fuck her. Part of this whole identity is that he fucks a lot. No, yes, that's part of his identity. The thing that he gives off is for sure he fucks, but I don't think like Manny, you got to check out the whole thing. I don't know if you were here for all of it, buddy, because we definitely get into it. Manny, if you want to come into the room, you can come into the room and help us write this Batman Fucks movie, but I don't think Bruce Wayne fucks. I think it's always Batman fucking. So that's just me. I know, and I know this debate will rage on just like the Spotify contenders list, but I got some more additions here. I'm going to work through them while we're brining the turkey. The whole house smells like turkey brine right now, so I'm going to go put that away. I'm going to make myself some lunch, and if any of you want to continue to pound off, please continue to pound off in the comments below the YouTube video or wherever you're watching. I love you all. I hope all of you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I'm going to see you right here on Instagram Live at Baby Mermaids Productions, or right here, also both, at YouTube, at Baby Mermaid Productions. I can't say it twice in a row. I can't say it 2 times perfectly. Baby Mermaids Productions on YouTube. And while you're here, make sure you like, subscribe. Check out Falls Count Anywhere has a new episode that came out Monday. We got a new Proper Ebonics coming out, and also past episodes of Hacks, What About with Andy and Pat, the 6 a.m. podcast, anything else on there, GDP also, and some stand-up. You got some fun stuff there, too. So I love you guys. Thanks so much. And, again, see you here Friday for the Black Friday spelling bee against me and John Montag. If you have any words that you want to give us, please. Obviously, you can't give them in the comments because we'll just read them. But if anybody wants to be involved with that, just let me know ahead of time, and I can send you some links for either Zoom or anything like that. We may need a moderator. So I love you guys. Thanks so much.